Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and I want to talk about the bad news or good news that's going on in Veve right now in the community with three main topics. I'm going to get into this and give you my perspective on these, and I really want to hear your feedback. I really want to hear your perspective in the comments section below. And if you tune into my live streams coming up, I want you to show up there. Let me know what you think about this stuff. There's been a lot of stuff talked about in the Twitter spaces. Three main topics right here that I'm going to get into. One of them is, payout is going to be temporarily suspended. The other one is the OTC deals. Okay, that big whole thing that's going on. And another one is Disney laying off their metaverse division. These are the three main topics I'm covering today. So if you do like this video, make sure you hit like. And like I said, you got to comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And also follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. We can continue the conversation there as always, as these things develop over time. But like you said, I'm going to give you my perspective. And I have a unique one, I think, that's a little bit different from a lot of people. If you look at the way my channel is and how I see things, I'm always looking for opportunities. And no matter what happens, there's always something that you can actually get ahead on. So let's talk about this right now. The bad news, and I put a question mark, bad news, because is this bad news that payout is temporarily being suspended? Now, if you go over to, Veve's Twitter, you'll see that they have, Wire has an announcement where they're working with some banks or something like that. It doesn't really matter. The point is that, payout's going to be suspended in a couple days from now. So is this bad news? Because a lot of people first jump on it as, oh my God, this is bad news. But if you historically look in Veve, when payout is not there, the last time that this happened, actually, when it was temporarily suspended, what happened to the floor? The floor on most items rose. So there's always an opportunity here to use that information. Historically, that happened. I don't know if that's going to happen this time or not. And we don't know how long payout's going to not be around for again. But historically, when there's no payout, the floors usually rise on stuff in the marketplace. So this could be an opportunity for you, either buying or selling or whatever your game plan is during this time. I'm going to be watching the floors on some of the stuff that I have earmarked to sell. And if stuff goes up to a certain point, maybe I'll unload a few things. Who knows? I'm going to look for the opportunities here. Now, the only thing is that we don't know, what Veve's been doing about looking for replacements for Wire because, people think that they seem to have enough time to do that. But I mean, it's got to be pretty difficult to find a new company. So Veve is still looking, of course, because if they weren't, we would have already left Wire. If they already had a company, if they would have left Wire already and moved on to something else. So they're obviously still checking this out. So is it bad news that payout's going to be suspended? For some people, maybe, but for others, there's always opportunity. That's what I want you to look for. Now, is it bad news? This whole OTC deal thing, this is the over-the-counter deals. This is the whole thing, with that user who made a big transaction with Veve with all the stuff going back and forth. It's been totally covered. You could actually look up and find out. You can see all the stuff that was transferred. Mostly, nothing under certain crazy mints and stuff like that. Some big, massive grails in there. A lot of interesting stuff, but nothing super crazy, to be honest, except for Marvel Comics 199, those kind of things. But is this a bad thing right here, right? A lot of people do think it's a bad thing. A lot of people are really upset about this. I have a slightly different take. My notion here is if you're in the collectibles business, like I have been for a long time, I ran my own store and everything. Sometimes these deals happen, with the owners of companies and things. If that's what happened, I don't know if that's what exactly happened here. We still don't exactly know what this was all about, whether it was a deal or a sale or if it was compensation or a trade. We don't really know. But if it was a deal, these kind of things happen all the time in the collectible world. And if you know David Yu, he is a collector. He's the kind of guy who hunts the stuff down. He meets up, with people behind the scenes. He goes in and he tries to find the crazy rarest stuff. And the only way you can get some of that stuff is if you have relationships with the owners of those types of businesses and if you dig, and so like if this is what happened here, if this guy and his group of friends or investors or whatever went ahead and actually approached the Veve team and said, I want to buy all this stuff for all these reasons, and they worked out some kind of a deal, well, that actually is really good news for anybody who is like really serious about mint hunting and going after some of these crazy grails that Veve actually holds back, because this means you might actually have a shot at getting some of this stuff. I don't know if that's what's happening. We'll wait to see. But if that's the case, there's a little crack in the door for people who want to go after the top stuff, the stuff we can't get, the stuff that's not available to the public and never will be available to the public. Now, there's lots of different opinions about it, about whether or not that's a good thing. Maybe everybody should have a shot at that stuff. It should be fair. Well, guess what? In the collectible world, it's not fair. And if David Yu has that mentality, of running this kind of business is something like that has, where how he goes out and finds his crazy stuff, all the stuff on the wall behind him, those prototypes, those crazy stuff like that. You can't just go buy those anywhere. You got to know people. And maybe that's what's going on here. I don't know. But the news that I'm going to say, the spin on it is the opportunity. If you are a mint hunter or if you're someone who's interested in that crazy stuff, maybe, just maybe you have a shot now to get your hands on it if you actually pursue it. I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it. Communication is going to be good. We're going to wait for Veve to find out and tell us more about what happened here. Or maybe they won't. It's their stuff. They hold it back for their own reasons. They can do what they want. It's really interesting. By the way, other companies, other projects have held stuff back and transferred stuff to their family and stuff all the time. OpenSea projects, they do this all the time. So this is not like something new. This happens all the time, right? So anyway, you let me know what you think about that. It's a pretty hot topic. Now, Disney layoffs. They're laying off their entire metaverse division, which is like 50 people. So it's not really that huge. But is this bad news? Well, at first glance, it might seem like it's bad news. It might be like, oh no, Disney's not interested in Web3. You know what? I actually don't think it's that bad in terms of overall thing for Veve. Now, I feel bad for the people who are going to be laid off for sure, 100%. Those are the first things you got to think about. There's a lot of layoffs going on in Disney and all over the place. Actually, a lot of companies, big companies, are laying people off. Disney's got about 7,000 they're laying off. And apparently, a Meta, Facebook is laying off, I think, around 10,000 or something like that. So there's a lot of other companies doing the same thing. So I feel really bad for those people. Hopefully you guys, if you're one of those people, everything is okay with you. And we send our, best wishes for sure with your situation. In terms of Veve, though, in terms of the metaverse, actually this kind of thing could be actually good for Veve, because Veve has the opportunity to really secure that Veveverse, that metaverse of Disney, that area in the Veveverse that is a Disneyland type thing, and really have it here. Because, the whole thing when Disney started coming out with their metaverse, team and everything over a year ago, people were all freaking out, wondering about, oh no, this means Veve's done. They're going to do their own thing. Well, actually, this means Veve could actually have a stronger foothold with Disney with Web3. So this is how I look at it. So like I said, is it bad news or is it good news? We'll wait and see for sure. Now, the whole thing about this kind of thing I want to talk about is the impact, okay? So the impact on anything that happens, you got to look for the opportunities in everything that happens, whether it's bad or good. There's always something going on. And this is how I choose to look at things for sure. This is what I recommend on the channel all the time, is for you guys, no matter what happens in the news with Veve and stuff like that, there's always an opportunity available to those who have the right mindset, right? So, this is the thing I want you to look at. How are these things going to affect you, and how are you going to actually get a positive response, and how are you going to get ahead by some of this news, right? But one thing I want to say for sure to Veve is communication needs to be better. You got to let us know what's going on, specifically with this over-the-counter deal stuff, just for the sake of these giant whales who are upset because, they're 41 mint hunters and all that kind of stuff. Communication and clearing this up would really be helpful, I think, to a lot of those people. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm always wondering, is it good news or bad news? You guys tell me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video, and we'll talk about this on my live streams as well. Happy collecting.